So I'm with Joel Drazner, and very exciting that he's coming over from LA in May to do a retreat with me in my new retreat space in Yeovil in Somerset. Um, and the topic we are going to be discussing for the 3 days is being at home within yourself. And that's something that's really important to both of us. Because for my part anyway, I've been around personal development for like several years, and I've always kind of been looking for something to make me have an easier experience of life. And I remember one of the first coaches I ever spoke to, he asked me to fill out this form and to say, what do you want, and what are you looking for, what are your goals, and things like that. And it was the first kind of time I'd actually started to think about what I wanted for my life, and just to give myself that space to reflect on that was basically a revelation, because I'd never done that before, just been on autopilot. And I just remember thinking, this question on a piece of paper was, what do you want? And I just wrote inner peace. And I looked at it because it was so kind of simple, but it felt so far away from my experience. It was like, I just want peace. I don't want a Ferrari or a massive house or some, all these things. I just want to have an easier experience and just feel a bit more peaceful inside and not tired. And it was the start of a journey for me that was very exciting, because I have been able to find that, and in finding that, I see that so many people struggle with that as well. And I think underneath all these desires for all these other things, that kind of is at the core of it all. So this retreat is going to be a very quiet and restorative experience, where everyone will have that space, that real just reflection time, because what I've seen, and I believe what Joel's seen as well, is having that space allows something different to come through that you didn't realize was there, and is very restorative. And it's the inner balm to our anxiety.
I love hearing your lead into that, Joe, and whatever's transpired since then shows that you've really tapped into it, because since I've known you and since we've been conversing and working together a bit, I feel like if I looked in the OED under the word, well, it would be more than one word. If there was a phrase in the OED, comfortable in your own skin, it would just have your picture there. It's my experience of being in connection with you is that you are quietly at inner peace, and I get a sense of slowing down myself when I talk to you. It's a very nice feeling. So if people were to come to our event and even just experience that with you, they would be well served. And as you're saying that, I'm reflecting on my own journey with this understanding of the mind that we'll be sharing with people quietly in this reflective space. There's been such a dramatic shift from many decades of having an internal engine inside that was perpetually monitoring the world for what I thought that certain people that I had designated as being meaningful to me thought of me. And really, at times, monitoring their moment-to-moment shifts and how I was imagining they thought of me. And then kind of micromanaging my experience with people that they knew so that those people would give a good report to those people who I cared thought of me. And many layers and threads of that. Now, I didn't set out to do that as a policy. It's only in retrospect that I realized that, oh my gosh, so much of my internal energy, my internal perpetual discomfort within myself was directly connected to that outlook sort of going on inside of me. So when I found out about these principles of how the human experience actually works, which we'll be sharing, there was just a big drop off of the metaphoric backpack of boulders that I'd been carrying through life. And that feeling alone was something that I would equate with inner peace, or a new, grounded, deeply rooted sense of inner security or comfortableness in my own skin. So I'm really looking forward to the opportunity to share this with the lucky few who will have space for on this amazing event.
Thanks, Joel. Yeah, and kind of like reaching out to people who want to feel something deeper, and perhaps have given up on the idea that is possible, or that there is that we all have the ability to have an easier life, and it isn't a complicated thing. It's something when I had an insight is the best way to describe it, but it can't really do justice to kind of that feeling of just letting go of what you think you know, and a fresh perspective just came through in a very effortless. It was like a beautiful surprise, really.
Beautiful surprise is a nice way to term it, and I think what people might find surprising, I just have to say, I'm although in another lifetime, this lifetime, I worked several years in advertising, writing commercials and stuff like that. In my real life, I don't like to talk in terms of hyperbole. And there are very few things that I know that I'm absolutely certain of. But one thing that I am is that anybody who really sees even a drop of what it is that we're alluding to in this will experience in their lives. It won't be possible for them not to experience some degree of an easier life. They are inextricably linked. The clarity of seeing what we're talking about in a better experience of life is a guaranteed thing. Now, can we guarantee that people will see it? I wouldn't go so far as to say that. But in all likelihood, anybody coming to this event will see something. And as I said, hand in hand with seeing something is a guaranteed better experience of life.
It just feels like a sort of a lucky gift, if I'm honest.
A lucky gift and a beautiful surprise.
That we'd love to share with as many people as possible. So if you'd like to find out a bit more about that, you can get in touch with either of us, or I'll share the details of the event as well with this video.